Hey man, this little scheme out for shit. Okay? You finna team this motherfucker. You on death row, this death row. You on death row, boy, this death row. You on death row, you on death row. You on death row, boy, this death row.
Zion Williamson so far this season, I can't lie to y'all, bro. This guy looks like the truth. This guy has been amazing offensively and defensively, and what I have seen from him has not only led to the making of this video, but it's led me to believe that Zion will be a staple in the NBA for years to come, with the right direction, supporting cast, and also with some health. Zion Williamson this year is currently averaging nearly 20 points a game, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, while shooting nearly 62% from the field. And this guy has honestly been one of the most impressive rookies that I have seen in a long time. This guy has gone on the offensive side of the ball and just shown flat out dominance, and defensively he stepped up on that side as well. And honestly, when I look at this New Orleans Pelicans team, this future just got way brighter, as they already have one player who was selected for the All-Star game in Brandon Ingram, who has had a phenomenal season. And Zion Williamson to pair with this young core of Lonzo, Ingram, Josh Hart, and all these other young players such as Jackson Hayes, I definitely think that this Pelicans team can not only make a run at the playoffs this season, but even as soon as next season, I could see this team being one of the better teams in the Western Conference. Now for one, let's talk about Zion Williamson's offensive game. As a scorer, even though his skill set is limited, I think he can play some bully ball similar to Giannis Antetokounmpo. He can handle the ball, he can facilitate just as good as a lot of other power forwards, and even though he cannot shoot the ball, he can get into the paint, and like I said earlier, he can play that bully ball where he uses his physicality to get to the basket. And I think offensively, one of the more impressive things I've seen, and it may be a tribute to Lonzo's passing ability and him being able to find the open man, because I do have to give Lonzo some credit, as well as Drew Holiday as well. I definitely think that Zion has been able to be really effective as an off-ball player. I mean, how many times have we seen him go through backdoor cuts or just use his strength to get away from defenders and then get that lane to the paint, and then he'll catch a lob or he'll catch a nice little pass and dunk it or lay it up. I mean, Zion has done really well when it comes to his off-ball movement, which is a question mark for certain players who cannot shoot, such as Ben Simmons. So I definitely like that I am already seeing that in Zion's game, because it shows that he is able to adapt to certain deficiencies and certain flaws in his skill set. And when you look at the defensive side of the ball, we all know the energy that he brings. It's just infectious. We saw it at Duke, and I think we're seeing it right now. We all know weak side blocks. Those are basically gonna become his thing. I think he's gonna take over from LeBron in that category. I'm just saying. And I think that also when it comes to switching and being quick on his feet and being a fast thinker, he does have a little bit more work to put in there, but you can see the potential. And I think that Zion has the ability, or at least the potential ability, to be an all-NBA defender one day in this league. He's shown it not just in college, but already in the 6 games that he has played in the NBA. But despite all of the praise that I do have for Zion Williamson's already defensive capabilities, there are some things that he should fix. Sometimes he's a little bit slow on his feet when he's switching on players, like I mentioned earlier. He does try to block too much. I do think that's a tendency for certain players who have that kind of energy. Guys like JaVale McGee, we see it all the time, trying to block everything. Dwight Howard, always trying to block everything. Even Joel Embiid, which might have even led to some injuries towards Joel Embiid, which Zion Williamson obviously needs to avoid considering his already injury past. But other than that, he is a pretty capable defender already for a rookie in the NBA, and I would love to see what he does going forward to improve, because the potential on the defensive side of the ball is scary. And speaking of flaws, when it comes to his flaws offensively, I think the 2 biggest flaws, for one, obviously is the lack of a consistent jumper. Even though he did hit 4 threes against the San Antonio Spurs, since then he has not hit a 3 since, and now he has only taken 2 threes since that game. But regardless, he is still not a consistent 3-point shooter, and also from the free throw line, he isn't great either. That's another thing that I think a lot of people need to pick up on. He is shooting 53% from the free throw line as we speak. So other than his actual shooting, the other problem with his game is the turnovers. I do think a lot of people are kind of just missing that fact. Even in the limited minutes that he is playing, he's still turning the ball over at a bit of an alarming rate in comparison to his assist. I remember in the first game against the Spurs, he had like 5 turnovers within the first 3 quarters. And even currently right now, he is averaging around 2 to 3 turnovers to 1 to 2 assists. And I think that should be a little bit of alarming, but considering that he is a rookie, I think those problems will be fixed with just more playing time and more adjustment to the NBA level. So I definitely think that when it comes to his flaws offensively, though they are pretty glaring in certain areas, he can overcome it with his physicality. Let's not forget that even though he's not a great 3-point shooter, he is still one of the most efficient players in the league right now. He is shooting around 62% from the field, and that is because he can get to the paint and basically do anything that he wants. And having players that can knock down perimeter shots such as Lonzo Ball, who is shooting around 35% from 3, Brandon Ingram, who's shooting around 40%, Drew Holiday, who's also shooting 35%. You got guys like Josh Hart, JJ Redick, obviously one of the best shooters in the league. They got guys that can knock down those perimeter shots that can give him some spacing, and that way you can't just double Zion in the paint or make some big wall, because there are guys around him that can make plays and will make plays, and they have certain veterans that can provide a level of consistency such as Drew Holiday and Derek Favors, and they have those young guys that can grow with Zion, obviously, such as Lonzo, Ingram, Hart, Jackson Hayes. The list just goes on and on of the young talent that they have on this roster. So I definitely think in terms of the situation for Zion Williamson, he is in a pretty good situation. And I love the fact that the Pelicans are not forcing anything on him that he is unable to do or just should not be doing, due to the fact that they have other players that can do it better than him, such as facilitating. He's not always on ball because they have facilitators such as Lonzo Ball. Even Brandon Ingram, I think, will be given more opportunities to run the offense than Zion, which I am okay with, because you don't want too much pressure on him. You don't want him to become too much of a focal point of the offense. Hence, he will suffer because of it, not just statistically, but in his performance overall. So I definitely think the Pelicans are managing him very well. And even when it comes to his landing, he's not landing on just one foot or just landing radically or anything. He doesn't even dunk the ball as much. So I definitely think that the Pelicans have probably advised him not to be too physical to help with his health. So I definitely think that when it comes to Zion's rookie year so far, he's been amazing and sensational, to the point that I think we need to start considering if he could even win the Rookie of the Year. Because right now, this guy, even though he's only played 6 games, to go out there and average 20 points and 8 rebounds in 26 minutes per game, that is very impressive. To per 36 that is 27 points and 11 rebounds. And we all know that this guy is capable of a 20 and 10 game. I mean, he's shown it like about twice already so far. And I think that the way things are going and the media coverage and the hype and all of that combined with his performance, there's a good chance he can make a run at that Rookie of the Year, even though Ja Morant was my preseason pick and he's still my current pick right now. Zion Williamson is definitely making a case for his own Rookie of the Year award. And with all that being said, let me conclude with this. Zion Williamson is arguably, and actually fuck that, he is the most hyped prospect coming into the league since LeBron James. And so far, to me, he has lived up to all of my expectations. And though it has only been 6 games, I think that we can all see the writing on the wall and come to the conclusion that Zion Williamson, guys like him and Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., Giannis, Luka, they're just a different breed of young players that are just set to take over the league one day, and it is going to be fun to watch. But what I see from Zion Williamson, forget just dominating the league and being in the mix, he could potentially become the best player in the league. But like I said, it's only 6 games and the future is yet to be told. This is your boy Young Mustard signing out. Make sure y'all drop a like down below and follow me on Instagram. I will be doing a $200 giveaway gift card to any of my followers once I hit that 10,000 follower mark. So make sure you're following me. The link is down below in the description box. And I will also be doing a face reveal once I hit that as well. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified when I drop fire content. And if you like this video, hit that like button so I can keep making fire content just like this. It's your boy Young Mustard. I'm out. Have a great day. Peace.